This is an RBTV 18 special broadcast, a discussion about the new Riviera Beach Public Services Complex. Hello, and welcome to a special broadcast of RBTV 18. We are coming to you from the future home of the Riviera Beach Public Services Complex, which happens to be the subject of our conversation today. Joining me, my name is William Giles. Joining me is Roseanne Brown, and we are privileged to have with us the CEO of the city of Riviera Beach and her cohort, the deputy city manager, Danny Jones. We have Ruth Jones and Danny Jones with us this morning. And thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
And first of all, we want to ask you, as I mentioned, the Public Services Complex is the subject of our conversation today. What is your objective in purchasing this property?
William, the purchase of this property was an opportunity for the city of Riviera Beach to provide a great quality facility for our employees to work, as well as an opportunity for us to efficiently use the dollars of the taxpayer so that we could get what we needed and then some. In this opportunity that was presented to us, not only are we able to provide facilities for public works, police, and fire, we're able to even have the opportunity for an emergency operations center. And in a location like the city of Riviera Beach, and with our hurricanes and with the activity that we have, our residents deserve a quality EOC. So it gives us an opportunity just beyond measure.
Now, you mentioned that's quite a bit. I want to ask you about the value that this property brings to the city of Riviera Beach. Talk about that a little bit.
We had a set budget that was established for two facilities, one for public works and one for police. And that money that was allocated was for these two particular buildings. We were able to leverage these dollars such that we would not even have to spend all of the money allocated for those buildings. And in addition, instead of just two services, we get to address 4 services. So it was an efficient use of the dollars. We acquired the property for $6.4 million. And out of the 15 that we had allocated. So it was a good use of the money. It meant that we didn't have to start from scratch. Bricks and mortar is a major cost when you're constructing a building.
Absolutely.
And so here we found a quality, sufficient, environmentally safe, friendly building in a great location. And so it was a great value for the city to be able to acquire this property.
Sounds like you've really been working on behalf of the taxpayers. And one of the things I wanted to go back to, I don't think you really talked to us about the total value of what you're getting, because my understanding was with the $16 million that was previously budgeted for public works and for police, you were unable to get everything that you needed, particularly for police. If you spent the entire $16 million, there was still going to be something lacking, but it's not the case with this facility. You're able to get everything. Am I correct? Was there something still that you were going to have to provide at a later date, even if you spent the whole $16 million?
Yes, Roseanne, I can speak to that. Initially, the police department facility that was being constructed was going to have some shell space because we did not have all the money needed to build the entire facility. We're going to have future use. When I say shell space, basically the framework for the building was going to be constructed, but the interior components would have been left unfinished due to budgetary restrictions. We ran out of money. it was cheaper to build the entire facility and not include the build out rather than in the future try to come back and build a new structure from the ground up. So with this facility, we were able to accommodate all the needs of the police department, bringing all the services that are currently outside of the police department back into one structure. As you may know, the Code Enforcement Department, as well as the Detective Bureau, are currently in lease space that the city's paying annual lease payments on. And we will eliminate those eliminate those leases and bring those divisions back into the police department.
Okay. I also understand that's going to accommodate the police training too. Because
Yep. Yeah, police training is also outside in that lease space as well.
So this is a substantial savings to the city, saving the taxpayers dollars, because I would imagine that space that you're currently leasing is not cheap.
I wouldn't say so much that it's a savings, but it will allow us the opportunity to take that same money that was being used to lease space to put into services. So we can put it back in the budget and use it for the services for the residents rather than for renting a building.
about how much money are we talking about being able to put back into the general fund to use for other services?
You're talking about $200,000 to $225,000 annually.
Almost $250,000.
Almost $250,000.
Now, I know that you were only planning to address the facilities for the police department and public works initially with the $16 million. But with the purchase of this building, you're also addressing fire administration and the emergency operations center in addition to police and fire. So you probably didn't have a projection to begin with for all four of those entities, but do you have a ballpark figure what it would have cost us if we had to build everything brand new from the ground up?
Well, I'll just take one segment of that. I don't have the figures as to what the total would be, but let's just take the EOC alone. If you are to start and equip a good EOC, you would be looking at anywhere from $2 to $3 million minimum. EOCs have to meet a certain hurricane code requirement, because if you have an event, you definitely want your EOC to stay up.
Absolutely.
And so the cost of doing an EOC, when you think about the structure, in addition to the structure, you've got to have the connectivity with all of the other entities, Red Cross, with the county, with all of the other agencies. So you need to make sure you've got the technology there in order to be able to communicate. You need to be able to look at and communicate by way of the computers. And because a lot of the information and updates are sent out by way of a message that's being sent. So when you think about $2 to $3 and maybe more, depending on how you want to outfit it, $1 million, this was a great savings to be able to just be able, not necessarily a savings, but a great opportunity to be able to get that kind of facility as we go through the development of a public service complex. So I don't have the number for fire, but that's just one example of how efficient doing it this way is going to be for the city and the use of the taxpayers' dollars.
Mm-hmm. Now, we've had an opportunity to do our own tours around the building, and I have to say it is absolutely fabulous. It seems structurally sound and what have you. When you did your investigation looking into this purchase, did you have any concerns about its structural integrity?
No. We had a period during the purchase for investigations, to investigate the structural integrity, to investigate the property boundaries, and all of the other things that a person who was looking, or a company who was looking to buy a property would do. And we did just that. We had engineers come out and inspect the roof areas for all 5 buildings or 6 buildings that are currently on the property. We had inspection companies come in and look at all of the air conditioning, all of the wiring. Every component of this particular facility was inspected and reports were complete.
So it's practically a new building, really.
Yeah, it was CO'd, a certificate of occupancy, in 2006. So it's practically a new building.
Our guests are City Manager Ruth Jones and Deputy City Manager Danny Jones. In our discussion today, we're talking about the new public services complex in Riviera Beach. We'll take a break right here. When we come back, we'll talk about time frames for this new facility. We'll be back in just a moment. The Commission on Social Justice is an independent commission that was created by the city to examine the conditions that contribute to violent crime in Riviera Beach and propose the actions that will reduce crime and improve the quality of life for our citizens. Co-chaired by Dr. Tony Drayton and Michael Slozier, the commission has 6 committees busy developing programs to fulfill its mission. They are health, education, employment, criminal justice, social services, and youth advisory group. If you're interested in helping in any of those areas, you're urged to either call area code 561-201-5593 or send an email to commissiononsocialjustice@gmail.com. Remember, the Commission on Social Justice is our commission, working for our community. Be part of it. Welcome back. This is a special broadcast on RBTV 18. We're talking about the new public services complex. I'm William Giles, along with Roseanne Brown, and we're privileged to have with us City Manager Ruth Jones and Deputy City Manager Danny Jones. And before the break, we talked about the public works complex and a lot of other issues. But Roseanne, you have an important question regarding the time frame. Is that right?
Right, because I know you mentioned about the structural integrity of this building, and that's really awesome, because I know the police station was built in 1978, and I don't know how old the public works facility is, and in hurricane season, I know you just want to get them into a better environment as quick as possible. So what kind of time frames are we looking at for getting into this building?
We're looking to be in this building in the spring of 2015, maybe the latter part of 2014, but definitely by the first quarter of 2015, which will shave off approximately 12 months from the original timeline to build the police department. You know, during hurricane season, or if we all can recall back when Hurricane Jean and Francis came through, the facilities really exposed themselves to how inefficient they were to adequately house a 24/7 operation during an emergency situation. Having a new public safety and public works facility in the city of Riviera Beach will definitely provide us a greater ability to keep the level of service high and sustained during those emergencies. Continuity and continuation of services has to be key for the city during an emergency operation or during a national disaster. And by moving into this facility earlier, it just gives us that greater level of ability to respond to natural disasters and just regular everyday service to the citizens. Being able to provide them with quality law enforcement and public work services is important.
All right, now I know that's very important to the citizens of Riviera Beach, also to the employees, Ms. Jones. Do you think this will have an impact on them? I know a lot of them are chomping at the bit, trying to get to this new facility. So what type of impact will this new environment have on the employees?
William, we all know that when you have to come to a place and spend a majority of your time there, you want it to be an environment, first of all, where you can be productive. An area where you can get to what you need, have what you need, have the people grouped together that need to be together, and some aren't cross town and you're having to get to them other sorts of ways, will provide an opportunity for colleagues to work together. That working together then translates into better customer service, because we'll have people that are, particularly in this particular case, you've got your code enforcement in one building and the rest of your police department over in another building. And so, and then of course some of the code enforcement issues deal with public works. The vacant lots. The vacant lots need to be mowed. They need to get to public work. So it just provides a greater opportunity for greater customer service, because that's what we're wanting. We're wanting to make sure that our employees have a safe, environmentally stable place to work, where our residents can come, if need be, in order to get services that they need, but also then to make sure that we are providing good quality service to our residents and are providing it to them in the best way that we can, because we know Riviera Beach is the best waterfront city to live, work, and play.
Absolutely. And having a fabulous place to work, such as this building, just makes you feel good about coming to work.
I know. I'm excited just listening to what you're saying, and I'm sure the viewers are excited also. Let me ask you this. A lot of times, seeing is believing. What if residents want to actually see this for themselves? Because we're not talking about a project that you're building, we're talking about buildings that are already here. What if a resident wanted to come and see it, to see if they could believe that all of this is really true? What would happen if they asked to do that?
Well, Roseanne, it sounds like a good idea to me. So we'll talk more about that, because it would be good for residents to have that opportunity, and hopefully we'll be able to set up some open houses or something for a scheduled time, and the residents that want to come see the facility, they can come and do that, because you're right. First-hand knowledge is better than anything anybody could ever tell you.
All right.
Excellent point.
We've had some experience with that. You know, during the purchase of this property, several groups came over and actually they toured the facility and saw firsthand the benefits of having an already constructed structure with the type of amenities this property offers firsthand. They did that during the due diligence period prior to the city purchasing the property.
All right. And people can get a sneak peek by just going to the new Riviera Beach Facebook page, is that right?
Yes.
We have some images of the building on the Facebook page, and we're already building the fanfare. People are loving it. And so I invite you to visit that new Facebook page. But we're just about out of time now. So we're going to wrap it up here. I want to thank you very much for joining us on this special broadcast to talk about this important new facility for the city of Riviera Beach. Mrs. Jones, city manager, and Mr. Jones, deputy city manager, and Roseanne Brown, our public information officer with the Riviera Beach Police Department. Thank you so much for joining us. You'll hear a whole lot more about this new facility, the Public Services Complex of Riviera Beach, and in the very, very near future. So look for that. Don't forget to visit us on our new Facebook page. I guess you can just go to Facebook and just put in Riviera Beach. It won't be hard to find. And also visit our website. We are going to create a link where you can find it on our website. My name is William Giles. Thank you so much for joining us on this special broadcast of RBTV 18. We'll see you next time.